Hi, this is Kirk Laughlin from Telecom TV Americas, speaking with Tom Tauke from Verizon Communications here at SuperCom 2009. We want to talk to Tom briefly about net neutrality and the impact on carriers in the U.S. Economy and domestically. Tom, it's a big issue at the show today.
Yes,
I want to get some perspective on carriers, Ivan Seidenberg, yourself, talking about some very serious ramifications if net neutrality goes forward. Can you cite for us exactly what kind of issues we might run into?
We are very concerned that bad net neutrality rules could really stifle investment in the network business, stifle the innovation in the broadband area, and have a negative impact on the industry.
What specific things are you concerned about? You mentioned in the panel something about security and impact on security and higher risk for either users or enterprises. Is there real risks involved, you think, with protecting network traffic?
Our engineers and engineers in companies around the world every day are making decisions to ensure that the traffic goes through, if you will, that the services are offered to consumers. We are fighting off spam, we're fighting off cyber attacks. Engineers are making decisions about prioritization of traffic so that latency sensitive traffic like voice and video moves through quickly. If an email is delayed a tenth of a second as a result, that's okay. These are decisions that are part of making sure that these robust networks work well and deliver good services to consumers. If you have a bunch of lawyers engaged in that process with the engineers, we have the sense it won't work quite as well. And that's what happens if government comes in and starts regulating those decisions about network management.
The interesting thing about net neutrality is the term almost sounds like it levels the playing field, but in fact, does a provider like Verizon, have an advantage against those who don't have quite the capacity, such as wireless networks, despite the fact that you oppose net neutrality? Is it potentially a benefit to you versus other providers?
Let's start out by saying we support open networks. We support the free flow of traffic on the networks. We want a robust internet and robust access to the internet so consumers can get whatever they want when they want it. We don't have no interest in inhibiting anything that consumers want to do. In fact, we think the power should be in the consumers to achieve what they want with the bandwidth they are purchasing. That's our core objective. What our concern here is that, in essence, to try to protect something that is working now, that we may instead end up inhibiting the consumers from making the choices they want and inhibiting the networks from working as well as they could, and inhibiting investment that is so critical to the continuing advancement of these networks.
Right. Understanding that the next wave of growth is very much in the mobile space, right, would Verizon be okay if the net neutrality rules didn't apply to mobility? Would you compromise along that line?
Well, today the net neutrality principles that were adopted by previous FCCs apply to the wireline space. We've supported those principles from before they were announced, after they were announced, since they've been announced. So we've been comfortable with that effort by the FCC to set guidelines for the operation of the internet and access to the internet. When you move to the wireless space, it's a whole different world. For example, in the wireline space, we say you can attach any device. That works fine in the wireline space. But in the wireless space, where you could have a lot of people gathering around a cell tower and a few people start using sling boxes, that could prevent the voice calls on that cell tower from going through. So I think you just have to recognize that these are different technologies and you have to manage them differently. And that's why what worked for wireline may not work so well on the wireless side.
Right. Final comment. The digital elites out in Silicon Valley have come out in support of net neutrality. How did you interpret that?
I think that the folks in Silicon Valley support an idea, and probably we would support much of the idea that they support. What I don't think, looking at the letter they sent, I don't think they're grappling with the tough issues here. They aren't looking at what the language is that the FCC may adopt, how that would affect the network business, and how that would affect all of their businesses. I mean, those entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, more than anybody else, or as much as anybody else, have a stake in the robust, intelligent networks and the effective operation of those networks.
Excellent. Well, Tom, thank you so much for joining us today.